What was your? Brett said you'd run this play like 4 or 5 times in practice.
Yeah.
Was that about right? 4 or 5?
About 4 or 5 times.
Did it always work?
Yeah, it's worked every time. I mean, you know, he seen me throw one day and he liked me throwing, so he called me in the office one day and said, "Hey, we're going to put together a play and we'll see how it goes." And you know, there you go, 1 for 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I think your quarterback rating is 480.
So what do you think you tipped the scales at right now?
Right now, I'm 340. Yeah, still going down. Probably 15, 20 more. You know, solid.
A lot of investment into, you know, taking a good look at Arkansas and playing better, and they really snapped in, had a really good week of practice, played extremely well. I thought the first half, really offense, defense, special teams clicked what we were asking them to do. Came in at halftime 35-0. Wanted to come out in the second half with our ones, and you get in those situations, and it's just natural for kids to kind of, you know, get a little bit off. And the good news was it was a lot of our twos coming in, got good reps. Some mistakes were made, but obviously enough to win the game the way we did. Came out relatively healthy. I think Carol Washington obviously went back in, shouldn't have an issue there. Brooks Ellis worked out this morning, is looking real well, so I think we'll have him back in there next week, although Josh Williams has continued to play well. Andre Tolliver is still a little bit tender, so we'll see where we can get him going this week. But for the most part, excited. You know, again, at the beginning of the year, I talked about a 5-week schedule, a bye week, a 4-week schedule, a bye week, and then a 3-week schedule, and see where it goes. We're a 4-4 team. When we are locked in and we have that edge to us, we're a very, very good football team. You know, I kind of just shared with him, you know, we looked at obviously all the games that UAB played, but in particular the Mississippi State game just drew interest for me because I hadn't really been able to watch them. You know, when you're busy on Saturdays and you focus on your next opponent, but to watch that game and to see a 26-20 score at the half and that same type of environment, the way our guys played in the first half gets you excited. And I told them, hey, when you're locked in and you're playing with a little bit of an edge, you can play with anybody. It's all between the ears right now, and I like the response, and hopefully some good things will happen. So. You know, you guys have interviewed Sebastian. I mean, he's an unbelievable character. I guess it was during fall camp. Some of the kids were. He immediately fit into our program. Just like the kids, you could tell he has some charisma, some character, and I saw him winging the ball around. So I started. Let me see that, and of course, then he starts, you know, giving me roll right, roll left. I can't say we practiced the back foot throw all that much, but. I told him before the play, I said, take your glove off, and he looked at me because it's called Tretola left. We've had it in now for a couple weeks, and you just look for the right opportunity, and we had a timeout there going in the third quarter, and I said, what do you think? And Tretola just lit up, and he claimed he could throw with his glove on, but I didn't believe it, so I made him take the glove off on third down, and, you know, I told him he couldn't tell his mom. Mary Tretola is probably sitting on the edge of her seat back home. I told him he couldn't tell her because I knew she'd tell everybody. We kept that under wraps, but a play like that, it's a lot. It's a way for me to interact with our team. I design all those. You know, I'm not trying to because they sometimes don't work, but it's a fun way for me to get up in front of the team and have a little fun with them, bring some energy. And the kids were so pumped when that A got called and then B when it executed. It was pretty fun.
What are your thoughts on your special teams?
You know, again, what we're paper thin on is we began to pull guys out, and then all of a sudden, guys that are in secondary roles as backups. Now they're also, and it was a combination of a little different things. We lost a shield guy. We wanted to light a fire under Sam. Obviously, he kicked the next punt very, very well. The first one, I believe, that Toby hit was a 3-1 hang time. It was like a spiral to the guy and broke down in coverage, but it first starts with the operation of the punt. So that was bad. And then at the end of the kickoff return, again, we tried to run some guys. I think over there on the right side, we had 2 freshmen that just ran around blocks. And the good news is they happened and they can be corrected. I mean, obviously, we don't like it to happen, but to take a learning experience like that stuff's invaluable. Well, there's one. It wasn't even a muff punt. We told him to, stay away from the football and gave him specific instructions. And I don't know what he couldn't quite give me the answer, so I just backed away from him and let him breathe. He talked about the guy that was trying to down it, missed it, and I don't know where his head was. But again, another great learning lesson for him in particular, because that comes down to one person. And then Demetrius, he's been trying to get that punt return job, and we told him to stand on his heels and run forward, but never anything backwards. That was huge.
Today it's maybe about having some fun, kind of adding some life
Without a doubt, I think our guys play better when you have fun. Now you got to have a delicate balance there. I think you can get away from your edge if you get a little too loose. There's certain guys that can handle it, and some guys can't. But I thought today was a good example of first half we're having a lot of fun kicking somebody's tail, and then you have a little bit too much looseness, and obviously the sideline gets away from you, and you have a muff punt and some things that against a SEC opponent bite you in the butt.
On Dean, it seems like a lot of balls hit the ground. Is that
Yeah.
something you're trying to change?
Yeah, we doubled the gunner. You saw there in the first segue. They run a pro-style punt. Number 7 had been very active for them, so we went on a double over there to the side. And then we tried to give him confidence to maybe catch the football. I do think all those came with a, if you guys, and it's easy for you to, sit where you're sitting and don't realize that when we were taking the ball that way, the sun was because of the 11 o'clock game, it's right over your eyes and it's up into the vision of what they had, and I think both of them lost it in the sun a little bit. After the game there, we gave, we probably got a quarterback controversy now in Tretola's eyes. But something that gets lost in the mix is obviously the guy that caught it, and he made an outstanding. If you guys remember back to Rutgers a year ago, he really made a nice catch. He's a very good snapper. He's a very good athlete. When the NFL teams come in, they ask about him because he's so consistent. Really, the only error I've seen was, obviously the snap against Alabama, and that was with a really wet ball, so hopefully he continues to do some things in the NFL. It'll be an opportunity for him because he can definitely catch. He's a good athlete, and he was excited.
What prompted Sleepy starting today?
A little bit of Sleepy getting better. Unfortunately, he had about 4 weeks there when he was injured, just couldn't go. And Davion is a very good student of the game. He's got huge care factor. Practiced really well. We told him and Roe during the course of the week kind of who practiced well was going to be who played and started, and obviously he did that. So I think we got some depth there that has to keep coming.
Ray, you talked about your team playing with an edge a little bit earlier, but you got 4 blowout wins and you got 4 losses to top 10 teams. So how do you assess your team?
Well, again, I think it's baby steps with where we're at. I know that we're more than capable of winning. All those 4 wins four wins could have easily been a close game, but we played the way that you need to play. And in the 4 tight games that we lost, we got to find a way to step over the edge. And I try to give the easiest way to predict the future is look at your past. And unfortunately, our past has not had a lot of success. So how are we going to adapt? What are we going to do to change? We implemented some things that in the Georgia game, I thought we finished the game a lot better, obviously, but we just dug a big hole in the second quarter. As a head coach, I try to reach out to Coach Fry on Monday because I know he watches all my games. Just talk to him about because he turned the program around. I was with Kirk at Iowa and we turned it around, and they've had success here. We hired a couple former players that, I keep asking them, what's the big difference, and everybody, all the guys I reference to, it's just that the expectation to win. I look at the A&M game. What we gave up a 2-touchdown lead, had a 3-touchdown lead that got called back. That was the same officiating crew today that we had in the A&M game. I think we only had 2 penalties, so we took care of that business. But I look at that game, and then we play Alabama to a 1-point game. Then A&M goes to Alabama and they beat them 59-0 because of this. They knew what they were going to do, and that unfortunately takes a little time to develop. Well, he's been very consistent. He's been that guy since I arrived here. Jay Will is a phenomenal football player. I sat him and his family down a couple weeks ago because when the season's done, we'll put in the application process to see where those people think of him. But the good thing is he's been a steady Eddie. Alex came around a little bit today. I'd like to see him finish a little bit better. Corliss' deal is what it is. It's just like a guy getting hurt. You just roll with the punches and go with it. Good news is. We have a guy redshirted, Juwan Day, who's a phenomenal player. We got a couple guys committed to us that we think come in and do things. And one thing we should be able to do is recruit running backs here, and off the tradition of what we've done. Now some offensive linemen should get excited about coming here as well.
How much, to play to Tretola, how much practice time is involved in getting something like that into the game?
Tretola, we probably ran that 4 times total. We ran it, probably 4 times in practice. Yeah, I give the whole season. Yeah, because it's either going to work or it's not. I try to design something that makes as little sense as possible to people that are lining up, and you kind of get people running around. They've obviously never seen it. The next one they're never going to see either. try to do some things conceptually that throw off a defense. I just love doing it just because it's a way to have some fun and interact with the kids.
Was that his first option?
That was his first read, the very first time. Now, this is funny, all right? So the first time we ran it, it's designed to go to D-App, all right? But we got Volsky on a crossing pattern, we got Hunter on the back end line, and we got our kicker running a swing route, and then at the last minute, Cody O'Hare checks down over the middle. So he's viable to, 4 different options, plus there's a run option, which we hope he wouldn't go with. But the very first time that he ran it, honest to goodness now, the very first time he ran it, he kind of rolled and he kind of set up, and I mean, just theatrics times 1,000. And somebody's got Cat Hosler calling him here. But he actually checked. Our DBs knew that D-App was eligible because we ran in the Rutgers game, so DB covered him. Somebody was covering Volsky. Somebody covered Hunter. So he actually checked to his 4th progression and threw to the kicker. And we just had an absolute ball with that and just kind of build off of that. But I adapted it after that week and kind of gave him more of that dash look. Huge, 49-yarder. He's hit the ball extremely well, very, very confident. He's a kid that gets height on the ball very quickly, which, was a little bit of our issue with some of those block PATs. So I don't think there's ever been a standing ovation for a PAT attempt until today on our first one there. I even clapped. I think that's a positive thing going in the right direction. And it was kind of a crosswind there, at that time, so it was a big hit for him.
Spade got the Tretola Award as the outstanding senior in the game. Just about his play. And also, do you even recruit junior college players a little differently, thinking maybe look for one to redshirt?
Yeah, Marcell's a great story. He actually has kind of been my example this week on one of the things that Coach Fry always used to talk about. He talked about a bell cow, and a bell cow is anybody that grows up on a farm. It's the cow that has the bell, and when he comes to dinner, everybody follows him. And Martrell is one of our bell cows. And one thing Coach always used to say is you can't use your bell cows enough. Use them in every way possible. And so on our team meeting on Sunday, I talked about Martrell, and here he is. He's the 2nd leading tackler in the SEC. He's playing lights out. All of our guys that turn on the film, you notice 47. When the scouts flip on the film, they notice 47. And one of them kind of said something to me last week, a guy that I've known for a long time. They're like, man, that kid's like a different person. What happened? And I'm like, you know what? He grew up. A year ago, we would have loved to have redshirted him. I couldn't do it. He was kind of a guy out there running around. Now he's locked in. He trains as hard as anybody during the out season. He obviously looks great, but defensively, his eyes are always in the right place. He makes all the right reads, and it gets him involved in the right plays. And then he makes a couple plays just because he's arriving in a bad mood wherever he goes. He's very explosive. So I even, used him last night. We always do 3 keys to victory: offense, defense, and all the phases of the kicking game. And usually the coaches give those keys. And Coach Smith usually gets up at the end, and he's usually very angry and very descriptive in his language. And the kids kind of look forward to it. So I subbed in Martrell last night. It was actually Rob's idea, and he gave the 3 keys, and he was awesome. Our whole team just responded to him. And it just goes to show when you do the things we ask you to do. I remember getting on a phone call with him a year ago and his dad just about being on time, a simple thing like that. He just really struggled with it. Not football, but academics. And really since that point, he has been lights out. He's set to graduate. Gives everything that you could ever imagine as a coach. He's truly, creating a reputation and a brand name that's second to none.
Time for a couple more. Did you see Tretola strike the Heisman pose?
I did not see Tretola strike the Heisman pose. I'm sorry about that. I don't. And that was no disrespect. I didn't. That game's live right now. When I called it, I thought the play would have success, and I didn't mean to. Everybody's like, Coach, you threw that in there, and it wasn't against our opponent. I've been waiting to run it. It needs to be on the left middle, and he threw it. But obviously, a celebration afterwards. I hadn't gone over post touchdown celebration with him, so it was pretty fun.
You guys wanted to reestablish your physical identity. Kind of that was the talk this week.
Huge, yeah. I think overall, it's got to be part of our. You guys hear me say it all the time. It's got to be part of our DNA. You can't fake it. And when we're playing teams. I've also only been in this league now for a year and a half, going into my home run stretch here. But I have so many coaches come up to me that I don't know that that are on the other team that just say, "Coach, I appreciate it. I love the way your guys play," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great," and I just want to get a W. But that reputation is getting there. Again, when those NFL scouts, I've known these guys for a long time, they're like, Coach, man, love watching you guys play, love the attitude, the demeanor, and it's coming. I didn't come here to beat UAB. I know that. I came here to win SEC games, and it sounds stupid to say that as an 0-16 coach, but I know what's coming, and it's going to come. If it's going to come this week, it's going to come this week, and when it comes, it's going to be very hard to stop.
You got a chance to see Mississippi State when you looked at the UAB film. How do they compare to Alabama, Auburn, some of the teams that we played pretty close?
Well, I would say that the biggest difference, in my opinion, in Mississippi State is their quarterback is playing extremely well. From when we played them a year ago, because I really only got to see them against UAB. I didn't see anything else. But defensively, they're big, they're physical, they run, they got swagger. They're very well coached. I've had a lot of respect for Dan and what he does for a long time. I just think that overall they're a very, very disciplined, organized, and they're playing with confidence. I mean, he was a team we took to overtime, right? You mean to tell me they outworked us that much more to be ranked #1, which they've fully deserved. They've won those games, and that's what we got to push through and be able to do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Brett's actually on 12. He said he was on 16. He's actually only on 12. Catch that, Robbie. He said he was on 16, but he's really only on 12.
That means he knows how long the streak is, right? The difference.
Oh, it's definitely a big difference. We're in there high-fiving each other and having fun. And, it's definitely a lot better than walking in the locker room and putting your pads up and hearing silence. So it's definitely a lot funner atmosphere.
And Mississippi State, give us some thoughts on them.
They're the #1 team in the country right now. And like Coach B says, he didn't want to come here just to play the #1 team. He wants to compete. So, we're going to focus on ourselves this week, and we're going to compete.
You figure comparing scores will have their attention. I mean, UAB gave them a lot of trouble if they didn't give you today.
They might. That was the first game of the season when they played them, and every team's a lot different now. So, some people might compare scores, but we just have to focus on ourselves and go out there and execute.
Does that give you all any more confidence comparing the score, or do you even think of it?
Nah, we don't really think about it. Like I said, we just go in every week and try to focus on ourselves and see what we can do to better ourselves.
You become more patient runner. I noticed today you had a couple of plays where you sort of went away and just paused and came back. Maybe in the last few weeks or this year, you think you're more patient than you used to be?
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that, just sitting down with Coach Thomas and looking at, he's a great running backs coach, and he analyzes everything, and he just tries to help us make ourselves better in any little way that we can. And patience was something that I really wanted to work on, and it's something that I feel like I've been able to do.
The offense really clicked, especially on third down. On your end of the field, y'all converted every third down in the first half on your end. Can you talk about how much that played into the performance?
It definitely did a lot, and third downs are something that we really stressed throughout the week, and it's something that, every good team, converts on third down, and we were able to convert on third down, and we were successful.
Does that make you think in a way that we're not that much different from the performance by the offense in general? I mean, it seemed like everything was there. Passing, BA had a pretty good game there in the first half too.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going to always be there if we execute, and that's the main thing, is worrying about ourselves and trying to execute our jobs, and we were able to do that today.
Do you think this was a solid bounce back from last week? You think you guys, maybe looking back on last week, were a little flat, and this was a little bit more focused?
Yeah, definitely. But we'll watch the film tomorrow, and we'll still see things that we could have did better. Definitely in the second half where we kind of lost energy, but it's definitely a good bounce back.
Coach Bielema talked about in the postgame today about getting your name out there to some scouts for the NFL. Have you given that much thought yet? Right now, I'm a Razorback, and I'm just looking forward to keeping my career here. School is going well, and I have great teammates, so I'll address that whenever it comes.
And then how important was it getting that quick start today for as far as confidence goes for the rest of the season?
It was definitely a good confidence, but we had a quick start against Georgia as well, and the main thing that we have to do is keep maintaining that confidence, that energy, and I feel like we were able to do that throughout the first half.
For you on the sideline, I guess.
I was so shocked I couldn't even celebrate. I saw it saw us practice it throughout practice and the past couple of weeks, and I knew that he could throw the ball, and I knew that he knew what he could do if pressure was in his face. But I didn't really expect Coach B to call it, but he called it, and we executed it. Or Sebastian executed it.
Right. When you see Mississippi State play UAB and it's a close game at halftime, you guys come out and are up 35-0. What does that tell you about maybe what you guys can do next week?
We don't really compare. When Mississippi State and the UAB played, it was the first game of the season, so every team's a lot different than they were the first game of the season. We're just going to focus on ourselves this week and try to execute.
It was a great win. I'm pretty confident. I'm proud of it.
I really didn't know I was gonna have to do it until kind of at the last moment. But I felt it was huge for me and the team. I feel like the team feed off a lot of my energy that I bring. So it's always a good thing. I love going up and talking to my teammates.
Hard to believe, kind of just you're a JUCO guy a year ago, and then you're addressing the team on the keys to the game. I mean, it seems like a lot's happened in a year.
Yes, sir. It's been a complete turnaround. I'm always thankful for the opportunity that Coach B and the coaches presented to me, and I feel like things are turning around for the greater. So just want to run away with it.
Did you get that Crip Hall Award? Does that mean anything to you? Just a senior in the homecoming game.
It's my first time hearing about it. I never knew anything about it, but I'm fortunate and blessed, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that the people that nominated me for me. And all credit to my teammates. They go out there and they go balls out, and it's hard to block those people. So when you got people like those, it frees me up to go make plays.
Ellis wasn't in there again today. Talk about the guys that were replacing him and how you guys played as a group.
Josh Williams did a good job today. He had great reads, and he was there making plays all over the field today. Like I said, playing with Brooks, the same thing like playing with Josh Williams. They both have a lot of talent, and they're both smart and physical at the point of attack. So with Brooks not out there, we don't miss a beat. So it's been good.
Do you remember what your 3 keys were?
The first key was stop the run, punish the running back. The second key was disrupt wide receivers and great eye discipline. And the third key was 1 play at a time for 4 quarters.
What do you think of Tretola's touchdown pass to?
When they caught it on the sideline, I was like, man, let me stand up and watch this. So I seen them when they snapped the ball, like people stopped for a second. One on one rushing them, and then for a second, people started to rush him. I said, oh no, he's about to get sacked. And he threw the ball in the air. I was like, yes! And it just got the team inside. It was a great play. And then I heard he hit the Heisman pose.
Yeah. Trey said they had a lot of success with that against you guys, in practice.
Oh, yes, sir.
What was it about it make you think it was going to work?
When that first came out, we had no idea that they was going to do it. And when they did it, defense was just like, what to do. So just being like that, I knew it was going to be a great fake. And they executed well. Great job.
Just thinking about Sebastian's athletic ability, because a lot of guys that size aren't going to be able to do something like that.
Yeah. He actually got a lot of athletic ability. The first time they ran against us in practice, they kind of looked like a quarterback out there, 300-pound quarterback. It was good, though. He executed every day in practice when they did it, and he did it in the game, so I was proud. I was proud of him.
Just how good, it's been a tough month for you guys. Just how good was this win to win big, have some fun doing it? Just what did it mean to you guys?
It was big for us. I mean, we go out there every day and we give a lot of hard work. We give 100%, and sometimes we get the short end of the stick. And just going out there today, get a win on our belt, felt good. We'll go into the Mississippi State game knowing that we're taking steps in the right direction. So it was huge for us.
Does it mean anything that you all played UAB better than they did going into this one?
We keep that in mind. It was a close game with Mississippi State and them, and we just want to go out there and know that we got a great team. We got a great offense, great defense, great special teams. So we just got to go out and execute on all cylinders.
What's it mean? 4 is better than 3. That you all improved over last year and also swept your non-conference game.
It's huge. We know that we got a great team, and sometimes it don't show out there. But we know we have a great team, and we try to execute on basically all cylinders. So just going in and sweeping the non-conference game was huge for us, and we got a great opportunity this week in knockout number 1. So we'll see how that goes.
Thanks.
People might start comparing scores and think Mississippi State may be in for a little more problem. I mean, the UAB gave them a lot more trouble than they gave you.
Yeah, they did. UAB, after watching film, they did a lot of double moves. They passed it a lot, do deep balls on them a lot, and I mean, the main thing we have to do is continue to watch film and prepare for them and get ready for them and just be ready for a great matchup.
What's it mean? I know 4 wins instead of 3 isn't much, but still it's better than last year. I mean, y'all feel it's a mark of progress?
Yeah, I can definitely see the progress. You know, we had 2 games that we should have won, and you know, but it's the SEC. You never know what happens, but definitely this win helped a lot. It helped our confidence.
You know, this was a big bounce back week for you. Besides the interception, I mean, you had a few knockaways and good coverage deep. Can you talk about from that week to this week the feeling that you had?
Same feeling. Last week it was just a rough game, a rough week. But as a team, you know, we was able to bounce back and get back to our groove and get our confidence back after this win.
There was an old teammate you took the ball away from.
Yeah. You know, we talked after the game, and you know, had a lot of memories here. But you know, it's a game, it's a business. So during the game, I wasn't trying to be friendly or you know anything. But he was a guy that used to play here. He was a receiver for us, and you know, but it was great to go against him.
What was that feeling like getting your interception? It's kind of been a while since the defense has caused any turnovers.
It was a great feeling, especially like you said, it's been a while, but it wasn't just me. I give a lot of thanks to my teammates, especially the safety that was over the top. You know, he helped me a lot, and him and the corner as well. And so it was just a lot of communication going on, and which led to the interception. And you know, that's what team is about.
The playing time that you've gotten since you came back from your injury at the beginning of the season, how do you think that you've grown as a player?
I've grown a lot as a player and as a person. You know, the coaches, you know, they helped me understand a lot more things, and I realized a lot more. You know, I've grown a lot within just 1 year, and you know, playing this nickel position it helped me as well, because you know it's another position I had to learn and focus on. So.
What does this win feel like? I know it's UAB, it's not an SEC team, but it's still a win. It's got to feel good.
Well, you got to think those guys on scholarship too. I mean, like you said, it's not SEC, but you know it's still a good team. You know they had a pretty good game against Mississippi State, and you know it was a great win for us. You know, we just helped us get our confidence back and get us focused and getting us ready for Mississippi State.
Are you surprised that y'all shut them down that significantly, though? They had 66 yards passing, I think, and 130 rushing. I mean, they've been putting up huge numbers coming in. I know it's not been all SEC teams they play, but
well, I'm not surprised, because once we do the right things as a defense, as a unit, we can do a lot of great things. You know, we just have to continue to keep it up, continue to communicate, continue to watch film, continue to do all the right things on and off the field, and it's a direct correlation. You know, it carries on to the field. And so we just have to keep doing that and keep doing the little things right, and you know, the sky's the limit for us.
On the sidelines, I'm sure word trickles down.
let me get this restarted. Hey, big plays all day by the defense. What was the feeling all through this game, the way y'all shut them down in the first half?
Yeah, it was a great feeling. You know, we practiced on that all week, just stopping big plays, stopping the run, and, you know, we came out and did it.
Were there things that y'all could key on? I mean, you just seemed to know what they were running. I mean, the way it looked. Was it just superiority, or did you have good keys to know what they would be doing?
Yeah, I think it was just trusting our keys and playing fast. I think that's what it boiled down to.
I mean, they typically pass, even the freshman passes better than probably did today. I mean, could you sense on the field that they were starting to lose confidence from their first series when You know, and then when they failed on their third, they tried for it on fourth down. Did you just feel like they were sort of about to give up the rope, I guess?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, they still played hard. But like you said, I think they, realized that we were playing hard and fast.
Yeah. Well, how have y'all been able to turn the pass defense from what we saw last year to what you're doing now? Where today you give up 60 yards, very few completions. Just probably one of the best days they've had.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing is Coach Jennings and Coach Smith. The things they've instilled in us and the things that we just practice on daily.
Is it just kind of a night and day approach to what you did last year, or is it what they're doing and having y'all how you play the pass? Is it completely different?
Yeah, I think we're focusing on being more aggressive this year. Last year we played off a lot, and we really didn't like that. But this year we're getting the press and be physical with the receivers.
Well, and it seems like you're improving. Would you say?
Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of improvement.
And what do you think about Mississippi State?
They're a great team. They got a big game this week, but we're excited for the opportunity next week.
And they have really big receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They have really big receivers.
Yeah, they really do. It'll be a challenge, but we're up for it.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.
You're a real emotional guy. I noticed you guys celebrating after a tackle and the referee came up to you, you put your arm around him. What was the dialogue between you two?
It was like, we can't do this. We can't do that.